So a very good evening to you all. Welcome back to this virtual session. As a part of training methodology syllabus, we are completing all the units. As per the syllabus, we have discussed all the units. Only very important unit which is pending is NSQF. That is unit number 12. So welcome back to this unit number 12, that is NSQF. Today we will discuss about this interesting topic, the learning outcome. Through this session, you will be able to achieve the following learning outcome. That is, you will be able to define NSQF and you will be able to state the importance of NSQF and explain learning outcome with reference to NSQF. And you will be able to explain QP, NOS, NQR and all. And you will be able to state the role of NSDA, NSDC, and SSC. And also you will be able to perform FA using NSQF guidelines. So let us go back to the detailed slides. So basically, what is NSQF? NSQF stands for National Skill Qualification Framework. The framework, what is the meaning of framework? You know, in school, college education, even academic, any academic field, they will have the framework for 7 levels of education system in academic field. That is primary, upper primary, secondary, higher secondary, undergraduation, post-graduation, and research. So all the levels of education, they will have the framework. Like that, for our system, for our skill ecosystem, there is a framework that is called National Skill Qualification Framework. So basically, what is the meaning of framework? Framework is a basic structure underlying a system. So the basic structure, based on the basic structure only, a complete system will be developed. For example, to construct a building, foundation is very important. So the basic structure of the building is the foundation. Like that, for NSQF, there is a framework for our skill ecosystem, starting from the syllabus, input, process, the training activity, and the output, the conducting of examinations. Everything is based on this National Skill Qualification Framework. Let us see detailedly about this. And a nationally integrated education, completely based skill framework that will provide for multiple pathways, that is horizontal and vertical, both within vocational training, vocational education, and general education, technical education, thus linking one level of learning to another higher level. See, there are 2 levels, that means horizontal and vertical. So horizontal level means in academic school, after basic elementary, then secondary, after secondary, higher secondary, then after higher secondary, college, they will join UG, then PG and research. This is horizontal. The vertical means here to there. That means ITI boys will be able to complete ITI, then they can pursue diploma, then they can go to professional colleges like engineering college. Now, vertical to horizontal, horizontal to vertical means one ITI certified person, maybe whatever trade may be, electronics, electrical, or whatever it may be, related to his trade, he can pursue technical qualification also, and also he can pursue degree, that is BCom, BSc and all. So after completion of his ITI, he will be able to join degree courses. So that is the meaning of vertical to horizontal and horizontal to vertical. So this is possible through this framework. It will facilitate an individual to pursue his degree qualifications after ITI certification. So this is a very important, one of the very important advantages of NSQF. The National Skill Qualification Framework organizes qualifications according to a series of levels of knowledge, skill, aptitude, and responsibility. See, it has 10 levels And there are like Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective. There are 3 domains. One is related to knowledge, that is cognitive domain. The other one is related to skill, that is psychomotor domain. And the third one is related to attitude, that is affective domain. So cognitive, affective, psychomotor domains, 3 domains plays very important role in taxonomy of educational objectives. Like that, here also, NSQF also, there are 5 domains plays very important role, and there are 10 levels of, are there in NSQF. So we'll see all the domains and what are the levels and all. So every level, the knowledge of an individual will be tested, the skill of an individual will be tested, and aptitude of an individual will be tested, and also the job responsibility towards the job also will be tested. These levels are defined in terms of learning outcomes. So in the 4th unit, we have discussed very detailedly what is learning outcome. Learning outcomes are indented outcome or learning objectives, what the learner will be able to achieve after successful completion of the session. It may be a particular session, theory class, or a practical demonstration, or a particular course for course objective or course outcome, a general outcome, or the specific outcome, that is the learning outcome for the particular session or particular theory class or particular practical demonstration. So these are all defined in terms of learning outcome. So you know very well what is learning outcome for an individual lesson, which the learner must possess regardless of whether they acquired through formal education or informal education or informal learning, whatever it may be, they will be able to get the certificate once they complete the test. There are job roles, qualification packs are there, and national occupation standards are there. We'll discuss everything in detail. So this National Skill Qualification Framework, when it has been started, that history we must know. In order to have a unified qualification framework, see, there should be an uniformity across the country. In academic education, you can see MA degree, BA degree, BCom, MCom degree. Every university has its own syllabus. So this is not called uniformity. For our NSQF framework, wherever a state may be, a district may be across the country, a person completes his level 5 or level 6 in his NCVT certificate. So that is called uniformity. So unified qualification. He is fit to complete or competent enough to perform the job. The certificate is valid across the country as well as across the world. That is called unified qualification framework. The Cabinet Committee on Skill Development notified the National Skill Qualification Framework, NSQF, on 27th December 2013. So December 2013, this has been introduced. So we must know the background, the history, when it has been started. The National Skill Qualification Framework is a competency-based framework that organizes qualifications into 10 levels. So after a few slides, I would like to share you one beautiful video. You will understand very well about the levels, 10 levels. After that, we will discuss detailedly about the remaining part of NSQF. And this has 10 levels. So it has the organization structure. That means every skill, every knowledge, you have so many levels. To do some particular job, you will be certified for that level. So how these levels are, divided for a particular skill, we will discuss. Level 1 of framework represents the lowest complexity, while level 10 represents the highest complexity. So it starts from the cognitive domain, the Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives. How we start? It starts from the knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The final is evaluation. First one is knowledge, gaining knowledge or understanding. So like that, here also we have 10 levels in NSQF, and first level will be the lowest complexity. It will be very easy to complete that task or certificate, to get this first level of certificate. And the 10th level will be very difficult to get the certificate. So the level of complexity is very easier and difficult in the highest level. That is, level 1 will be very easy and 10 will be very tough, like that, highest complexity. And the levels defined in terms of learning outcomes acquired by learner through formal, informal, and non-formal learning. See, you may have completed your ITI, you might have completed your diploma or degree, engineering degree, or any degree, even college degree, academic qualification also, BCom, MCom, whatever it may be. In skill ecosystem, we have NSQF certified person. That means level 3, level 4, level 5 certified person means we have set of syllabus. So based on the syllabus, qualification packs are available. Based on the qualification packs, and national qualification occupational standards are there. So learning outcomes are described. Every syllabus has learning outcome. So each and every learning outcome will be assessed. So if you pass that knowledge or skill, whatever it may be, it will be tested, then it will be certified. So it is not related to your qualification. So whatever you are qualifying the exam, it is not your academic qualification or professional qualification. You are attending the level 1 or level 2, 3, 4, 5 level in the NSQF level. So if you are competent enough to perform that, then you will get the certificate. So everything is assessed based on the learning outcome of the syllabus. So levels defined in terms of learning outcome. We will see what is these levels and example of the learning outcomes for any level, maybe 3 or 5 or 6. If you are an engineering trade, that is 2 years course, your syllabus will be, or your content or your course will be level 4. Level 5. If your course is 1 year course, that is non-engineering trade, means your course is level 4. If you are doing CITS course, you are in level 6. So these are all called NSQF levels. We'll see everything in detail. NSQF levels are not related directly to years of study, but defined by criteria expressed as learning outcome. Just now I informed you, the qualification is different. Your academic qualification, your professional qualification is different. Here, it is not related to your yearly qualifications, how many years you have completed and all. You will be able to perform the job, that is your qualification. And you write the examination, you will pass and you will be certified. So, and next, the rationale behind preparing this national skill qualification framework. See, why it is important? What is the necessity of creating NSQF? For what reason this NSQF is being prepared and has to be followed? So let us see some important reasons. More than 20 million drop out between 10th, 11th and 12th standard annually. So every year in our country, more than 20 million people are discontinuing their school and pre-university education, that is 11th standard, 12th standard and 10th standard. So where they will go? They have to choose some other system of education. So that is vocational skill. So after 10th standard, there is one more field they can choose, that is vocational skill or this NSQF compiled. So many trades are there, so many fields are there. He can get that kind of, as per his choice. Lot of short-term courses are there. Depending upon his ability and capability and aptitude, he can choose that particular domain and he can write the exam. He can undergo training also. There are many training institutions and industries are conducting this type of training, and also they can undergo those training and attend the examination. They can pass and they will be certified which level he has passed, and he will be able to get the job. So this is the important advantage. Where skill, that is ITI, Advanced Training Institute, not widely accepted in society. See, only ITI certificate a person is having. After that, what he has. So only getting the certificate, even graduation also. After getting the certificate, he should have the skill. So he will be what work, you may have degree, you may have qualification. So only with the qualification you will not get job. So what you will be able to perform or do. So if you show your NSQF certificate, I have passed level 5, level 6 or level 7, means according to your level, you will get a very good job. And my degree or diploma do not guarantee job. So many, 20 years before and all, so many people are in our country, so many unemployed youths were there. So after that, you see, our government and the system has been changed. Lot of opportunities in industries and so many private, even government organizations, public sector, so many job opportunities come, and everybody got job. Now jobs are available, people are, less, you can say. So everyone can get job. So that is the change happened in a few decades. Many present courses not very popular. So present courses are not very popular. So popular courses they have to choose, means very, very less the courses will be there, and more competition will be there. So many people will apply for that course. So others will not get that course, means what they will do? They have to look for other opportunities. So, and expensive in education system to join in a college at education, to pursue a degree and all, 3 years degree or 4 years degree is very costly. So they have to spend a lot of money to pursue their degrees. And current education operates only in structured environment. So there is a structured environment. Some of the universities in particularly engineering colleges, professional colleges or engineering colleges, one person failed in the first semester paper, means he will not be able to write the third semester or fourth semester examination. So this is, this is structure of the education system. But in the vocational system, it's not like that. So there are number of short-term courses or short-term programs, hourly based, so many hours, 50 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours, like that. So many modules are there. They can undergo that, they can get training, and they can write the exam. They can, in our skill ecosystem itself, CTS you may complete in one institute, and CITS you can join in some other institute in some other state. So this is called flexibility, and everything is possible only based on the NSQF framework. So this is the rationale behind starting this NSQF. And why is NSQF important? Again, what is the importance of NSQF? A nationally integrated education and competency-based skill framework that will provide for, competency-based skill framework, competency-based. So in the beginning itself, what they will be able to achieve will be there in school and colleges. And before NSQF, the system of training will be input based. There will be a syllabus. The instructor or faculty has to prepare, analyze the syllabus and break the modules into units, the units into lessons, and he has to prepare instructional materials, notes of lesson, everything, then conduct the tests. But now after this NSQF, this has become as output based. So an instructor or a faculty need not to worry for preparing schedules or breaking the syllabus and all, or preparing notes of lesson. Everything is readily available. He has to refer, then he has to impart training. That is the advantage of NSQF. So it is output based. And the syllabus also output based, and every material, whatever you have, the reference book, the contents which has been prepared by National Instructional Media Institute, every lesson you can find it is output based. So learning outcome will be explained clearly well in advance in the beginning of the lesson and the demonstration for practical exercises. Move away from input-based learning system to an output-based system. So the input-based system has been replaced by output-based system, that is NSQF. Facility mobility from vocational to general education. So after vocational skill or ITI passed, person will be able to pursue his graduation in BCom or BSc. After ITI, he has to write one approach in NIAS, National Institute of Open Schooling, and through that he can write one exam, and after that he will be able to apply for graduation for all the universities. Even some of the universities are conducting Bachelor of Vocational Education. So and afterwards Master of Vocational Education, then he can also do PhD in that. So that is the facility, and support skills development and promote lifelong learning. So this is very interesting, because in colleges and all you have maximum age limit, but here there is no maximum age limit. After 14 years, a person is able, or he is eligible to apply for CTS course and CITS course. After that, any module he can complete, and he can write any level of education, NSQF competency-based tests, and he can get the certificate. So he will become as an autonomous learner, who will be considered as autonomous learner, who will be able to complete his qualification or skill whenever he require. The age is not a matter. Anytime he can get the qualifications. Anytime he can learn, from anywhere he can learn. That is called lifelong learning approach. And establish qualifications based on national standards. So there is a standard, and based on the standard only, this systematically it will be followed, and certificate also will be issued. To make progression pathways transparent, establishing equivalence of certificates, diplomas, degrees in different parts of the country. To make progression pathways, see, there should be a progress in any individual's career progression should be there. So here in education, I mean collegiate education, after 10th standard, 12th standard, then undergraduation, then post-graduation. So it is not easy to pursue after undergraduation and choose his preference in so many good colleges are there and average colleges are there. Whereas in NSQF, every institute has a standard. So they will follow the standard. The syllabus is uniform across the country, and the reference book, the content is uniform across the country, and the system of evaluation, that is format evaluation and summative evaluation, is uniform across the country. So this is the standard. And progress also, progression pathways. Pathways means what? What is the meaning of pathways? To reach the destination, there will not be any hurdles. So very happily an individual can pass all the levels, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, whatever it may be. So by checking the qualification norms or national occupational standards or qualification packs, there is a qualification register, national qualification register, and by seeing the website information, he will be able to apply for any qualification packs, and he can write any levels of NSQF certificate levels. So this is the importance of NSQF. And multiple pathways. So a person who has completed his 10th standard, after that he can pursue his qualification. You can see here in this chart, you see here the basic level education. There will be a primary, secondary, and tertiary education. See, tertiary means what? After higher secondary, tertiary. That is your higher qualifications for graduation or polytechnic and all, tertiary education. After the secondary, primary will be basic qualification. Then secondary will be higher secondary or secondary school leaving certificate. Then tertiary will be polytechnic and undergraduations. Even up to doctorate, research and doctorate, it's possible. You see, in the right side, you can see here, level, there are 10 levels. So 9 and 8 and 9, and 10th level will be research. And here you see up to 10th, 12th standard, level 4. And first year, second year, third year, you can see here post-graduation, post-diploma, you can see. And this one, level 5 is equivalent to diploma. And here you can see degree, this green color, 3 years, for 1 year, 1 to 3 years, all graduation degree course is 3 years course. So this 3 years are equivalent to this degree. And this level 1, 2, 3, 4 and all equal to our NSQF level. And post graduation is 8th and 9th level is post graduation. The 10th will be the PhD and MPhil research level. And in university, post graduation will be 8th, 9th, equal to 8th and 9th level in our NSQF. So here the 9th standard is equivalent to level 1. So these are the levels, skill level and the qualification, which is comparing with the academic qualification and the skill, NSQF skill level qualification. And you see the technical degrees, institutions, informal education, secondary education, post completion of requisite skill modules. So after that, he will be able to pursue his polytechnic or any other higher qualifications. So job market, ultimately they have to reach the job market. So these are the multiple pathways. So after ITI, he can choose multiple pathways to reach the job market. So this picture will show you a very good insight. Then stakeholders. So who are the responsible people, responsibilities to achieve the NSQF in a successful manner? I know so many people or organizations or officers plays very important role. So they are considered as stakeholders who are responsible to achieve this NSQF in a successful manner are stakeholders. So National Skill Development Agency, NSDA, and sector skill councils, then central ministries, state governments, training providers, institutes and institutions, even industries also. So these are the stakeholders plays very important role in implementing NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework. So let us see what is NSDA. I told you one video I'll show you. So after discussing this, I'll show you the video so that you will understand the 10 levels and how it has been considered, the levels and all. National Skill Development Agency is an autonomous body under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. It attaches the NSQF and allied quality assurance mechanism for coordinating skill development initiatives in the country. So skill development is the important aim or objective of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So to achieve that, National Skill Development Agency has been created and it has been functioning. Evaluate existing skill development schemes. There are a lot of schemes under a skill ecosystem like a craftsman training scheme, craft instructor training scheme, like that. So many schemes are there. So to implement everything, NSDA is plays very important role, and also not only implementing and also evaluating about the success. Any problem is there, once you evaluate it, then you will come to know about the problems, then you can support to achieve the targets. So to implement and also to evaluate existing skill development schemes, NSDA plays very important role. Create and maintain a national database related to skill development, including development of dynamic labor market information system. So there should be a documentation is very important for any activity. So under labor market information system, which has been maintained by NSDA, and all the details are available in that database. So this labor market information system is being maintained by NSDA. And NSDC, what is NSDC? National Skill Development Corporation. See, these and all, we must know the importance. We must know what is NSDA, what is NSDC, which is a part of, NSQF, implementing agencies of NSQF. National Skill Development Corporation is public limited company set up by Ministry of Finance as public-private partnership model in 2008. The Government of India through Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship holds 49% of the share capital of NSDC, while the private sector has the balance 51% of the share capital. So it has the Ministry of Skill Development has 49% of skill, share, and the remaining percent of share is held by public-private partnership. And that public-private partnership is all industries or institutions or training providers, whom and all involved with that. Then NSDC aims to promote skill development activities by supporting vocational institutions and industries. See, what is the main role of NSDC? We know very well, NSDC is National Skill Development Corporation, and it aims to promote skill development activities by supporting vocational institutions and industries. Supporting in the sense, mostly financial support will be done by NSDC. And to the vocational institutions and also industries who are all conducting and implementing an NSQF. Some industries also giving training related to their sector, and also certificate will be issued to the training attendees, and providers also getting benefits supported by NSDC. Then sector skill councils. In the objectives we have seen, we will be able to gain detail or gain knowledge about NSDC, NSDA, and the sector skill council. So we have seen what is NSQF, what is NSDC, what is NSDA, and now sector skill councils. So sector skills council only making qualification packs and national occupational standards, which is a very important part of NSQF. Sector skill councils are industry-led national partnership organizations that will bring together all the stakeholders from their respective sectors. So many sectors will be there: industrial sector, manufacturing industry, garment industry, electronic industry, electrical industry. So every industry can conduct training programs and issue certificates in all required levels. Level 3, there will be a syllabus. Level 4, there will be a syllabus. Level 5, there will be a syllabus for this many hours. So with the learning outcomes, specific learning outcomes. So these industries or training providers can conduct the training program and issue certificate will be issued by competent authorities. And sector skill councils are industry-led national partnership organizations that will bring together all the stakeholders from their respective sectors. So these are the main, you can see, link the sector skill councils, link the industries with the NSDA and NSDC to implement the NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework. Based on the needs of the industries in concerned sector, based on the need of the industries in concerned sector, the sector skill councils are developing the national occupation standards and qualification packs. We'll see detailing what is national occupation standards and qualification packs for the various job roles in their sectors. One individual will be able to perform one kind of job. For example, welding, welder. Welder is a person who will be able to perform welding operation. So he knows what is welding and what are the equipments required for welding and welding tool kits, equipments, consumable item, everything he knows. And he will be able to perform welding operations. So that is one job. Welding is a job. And what metal he has to use, what rod he has to use, which equipments he has to use, and all is specific learning outcomes. So occupational standards are that specific learning outcomes. The qualification pack is welder. And garment designer, you may have standard 1-year course. This is the formal course. Informally, you can conduct 3 months course or 6 months course for related garment sector. 6 months program you can conduct. 6 months course is not formal training, which is under CBT. It may be considered as short-term program. But in that program also, you can train one individual so that he or she will be able to become as a garment designer. So 6 months, what are the skills you can or you will be able to impart so that they can learn those skills and get the certificate, NSQF certificate in level 3 or 2 or whatever it may be, the regular as per the standards, and he can get the certificate. So the national occupation standard will be the individual performances. She will be able to take measurement. So taking the measurement before stitching the garment, she has to take the measurement. Then drafting is a particular learning outcome, and cutting is a specific learning outcome. Then stitching the garment. So taking measurement and drafting, cutting, stitching, these step-by-step procedures or step-by-step actions or skills are considered as occupational standards, which consist of a designing of garment is a qualification pack. So in a qualification pack, you may have a set of learning outcomes which are considered as national occupation standards. So based on the needs of the industry in concerned sector skill councils are developing national occupation standards and qualification packs. So this national occupation standard and qualification packs and all being developed by sector skill councils. So these sector skill councils are industrial representatives and government representatives, state government and central government representatives, and will align the same to appropriate levels of NSQF. So hope you might have got good knowledge about sector skill councils. Again, you can see how the sector skill councils are linking the industries with NSDC and other training providers. See, industrial members will be there, government representation will be there, industry associations will be there, and training provider will be there, and National Skill Development Corporation will be there, and business leaders also will be there. So everybody will be linked through sector skill councils. So this is a typical representation of sector skill council. So sector skill council plays a nodal role which links the industry and training providers with the National Skill Development Corporation and also government representation. Then regulatory institutions. What is a regulatory institution? All the existing regulatory institutions, that is UGC, All India Council of Technical Education, NCVT. See, we have seen one person, ITI boy, can pursue BCom or BSc degree. This BCom, BEC, BSc and all coming under UGC, University Grant Commission. And we have also discussed this BCom graduate can pursue this technical qualification. This technical qualification, that is a professional qualification, BE, Bachelor of Engineering courses and all coming under All India Council of Technical Education, AICT. And this ITI certified person is belong to NCVT, so NCVT certificate. So this UGC, AICT, NCVT should have the link, you know, that is why it is considered as regulatory institutions. Technical and school boards, etc., would define their entry and exit competencies and qualifications in terms of NSQF levels. So this UGC certified person and AICT certified person and NCVT certified person can pursue one common course. That means all these regulatory institutions should follow one common course. That common course or that common system or the common framework is nothing but NSQF. So if UGC is following and AICT is following and NCVT is following that NSQF, an individual, it is very easy to get the certificates and complete the levels. And entry and exit competencies, qualifications in terms of NSQF levels, so that provision of vertical progression in both general and vocational education would be strengthened, and vocational pass outs are able to gain entry in their respective portals of higher education. See, vocational skill certified person will be able to pursue his UGC courses. So how is it possible? Because there is a common framework is there, that is NSQF. So through that it is possible. So this is a very important link of the regulatory institutions, link of the regulatory institutions. So because they are following this competency based curriculum, like NCVT, UGC also having the competency based curriculum, and AICTE also following the competency based curriculum. And there is a common standard for all the regulatory institutions, which is followed by NSQF levels. So the levels may be different, but they are following both input process, all the input and process output in a common way. And now we see the difference with without NSQF and with the NSQF implementation. So we are following NSQF syllabus, we are following NSQF training, and we are following NSQF testing and evaluation. So without NSQF, what will be the condition, and with NSQF implementation, what will be the condition? Let us see. Focus of education and training on inputs. So without NSQF, there is no national skill qualification framework. So the education and training will be input based. So there will be a syllabus, and it will be given to the training provider or the faculty or the teacher. But with NSQF implementation, you see output based approach. So with the NSQF syllabus the syllabus is output based. So what they will be able to achieve, what the learner will be able to achieve will be output based, and the competency, everything will be well in advance. It will be known to the teacher as well as the students. That is a advantage of after implementing NSQF. Unclear or absent pathways, ways of achieving specific results. So we have seen the pathways, multiple channels and multiple pathways, the advantages of NSQF. Without NSQF, there is no multiple pathways, unclear pathways, and absent pathways will be there in case of without NSQF. If NSQF is implemented, then transparent progression pathways. It is transparent. So the what level you have achieved, it is transparent. You know, the one person is certified level 3 means what are the learning outcomes he has achieved is common, and it is transparent to everybody. One person passed BCom degree or BE degree means only the qualification he has. What are the specific skills he knows, he will not be able to show that, because the degree certificate is different from skill certificate. Skill certificate, you are what are the skills you will be able to perform. The skill set will be there, and the level you are passing, everything will be based on the competency based. So by seeing the level 4 passed, level 5 passed means a person by seeing the certificate, so this skills he knows, he can perform. So that is called progression or transparent. It is showing, your certificate itself will show what ability you have, what aptitude you have, like that. Whereas without NSQF, you will have only the qualification, your skill, your knowledge, what and all will not be there. And the lack of uniformity in outcomes associated with different qualifications. So uniformity will not be maintained without NSQF. With NSQF, there will be uniformity. It is an important difference. Negative perception associated with vocational education and training. So previously, again 20 years before and all, ITI boys or a person who is doing ITI will have the negative perception in public, because ITI means only some technical skill he has, only he will become a technician and all, like. But now after NSQF, that ITI boy will have a lot of skills with him. Immediately he will get job, and every levels he can, while doing the job, he can pass the level 4, 5, 6, 7, like that, based on his ability, and he can pursue good certificate, and he passed the exam, and he can also get good jobs and be a good happy person in the society. That was not there previously. So with the NSQF implementation, this opportunity is there. Lack of certification of skills acquired through experiential prior learning. So there will be any certificate without NSQF, and with NSQF there is a prior recognition of prior learning will be there. So certificate will be issued. What are the qualifications you already have? Some knowledge you may have. Some skills you have, that will be recognized through RPL mode, that is recognition of prior learning, in only because of NSQF. Then inflexibility in terms of course duration. an absence of multiple entry and exists. So here in without NSQF, there will not be any flexibility. So for example, 3 years course means he has to complete 3 years, regularly attend classes and without fail, absent, and completely he has to attend the tests and all the 3 years he has to attend. But whereas in the with NSQF implementation, there will be learner can choose his modules. 100 hours means 100 hours he can attend, and training activities also he can attend so many hours classes, like driving classes and all. If you go to driving classes, 5 hours or 10 hours class will be there. So as per your convenience, you can call the instructor or the master, I will attend this day, this hour, like that. So according to your choice, you can choose the hours and dates. So like that, even NSQF based training providers or training activities also, it is credit accumulation and transfer system. So wherever opportunities are there, you can complete your basic level, then advanced level you can shift to other institutions according to your convenience. Not only the modules and units or training programs, also training institutions. You can choose any institutions near to your place across the country. These are the important differences with and without. And NSQF implementation, the NSQF is anchored in the National Skill Development Agency and will be implemented through National Skill Qualification Committee. This National Skill Qualification Committee approves the qualifications submitted by various agencies like NCVT, Sector Skill Councils, or other awarding bodies. Approved qualifications become part of qualification register. So in the objectives, we have seen National Qualification Register. So what are the modules prepared by the sector skill councils or the industrial sectors will be approved by National Skill Qualification Committee, so that it will become the standard, and approved qualifications become part of qualification register. So you can see the qualification register, National Qualification Register. You can find a number of qualification packs and thousands of national occupation standards with a learning outcome. And we have seen very detailedly about the learning outcome. What is learning outcome and all in the fourth unit. Again, as a part of NSQF, we must know what is learning outcome, because each and every qualification pack, there will be a learning outcome. Each and every national occupation standards, there will be a learning outcome. So the learning outcomes are what the learner or learns and is able to perform on completion of a learning process. If it is a theory class or subject, what he will be able to gain knowledge. If it is a practical demonstration, what he will be able to gain, and what he will be able to achieve in practical demonstration. That is a learning outcome. Would be expressed in terms of knowledge, skill, and competence to do a job using knowledge and skill. And learning outcome statements may be considered to be exit behavior of instructional objectives. So instructional objectives are indented outcome. Indented outcome. Your aim is your intention. How you achieve the aim will be your learning outcome. So the achieving point of view or the learning outcome are the statements, what they will be able to achieve, what the learners will be able to achieve after successful completion of the training program or after successful completion of the particular session. For example, for typing in computer, you are training one person to type a document in computer by using word processor software. After training, what the learning outcome will be able to achieve by the individual, you see, type. He will be able to type a document using word processing software. So you are training an individual to type a document using the word processing software. So the statement will be like this: type a document using word processing software. Here we have to use the action verb because it should be a measurable one. The learning outcome we have seen with so many definitions. So every learning outcome will start the statement with the action verb, measurable action verb, achievable action verb. So we have detailedly discussed about the SMART principle. SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So these learning outcomes are based on the SMART approach, and it will be measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So the type is the action verb. She will be able to type a document using word processing software. So here action verb is type, and learning statement is the document, and criteria is using word processing software. This is for computer typing. And for garment sector, you see, stitch a garment using sewing machine. So stitch is the action verb, performance, and garment is the learning statement, and using sewing machine is the criteria. So stitch the garment using sewing machine. So action verb is stitch. Performance, learning statement performance is garment, stitching the garment, and criteria is by using the sewing machine. So the action verbs plays very important role in writing the learning outcomes. Type, stitch, cut, copy, paste, draw, and all action verbs for specific learning outcomes. And you see now we have discussed in the beginning, NSQF has 5 level descriptors, like taxonomy of educational objectives. 3 domains are there. In NSQF, 5 domains are there. As I said, level descriptors. For 10 levels, there should be a level descriptors. These level descriptors are called as domains, 5 domains for NSQF. One is process, then professional knowledge, then third one professional skill, and fourth one core skill, and fifth one responsibility. So this process, professional skill, professional knowledge, core skills, responsibilities, and all common for all the levels. For level 1, which is the basic or very easy level, or the less difficult level, and 10th level, which is the highest level, and a bit difficult level, difficulty measured by the levels. For all the levels, these 5 domains or level descriptors are there: process, professional knowledge, professional skill, core skill, and responsibility. Let us see, for example, process means what? Process is a general summary of the other 4 domains corresponding to the level. And what the person must know at the level, that level is a professional knowledge. Professional skill is what the person should be able to do, what he will be able to perform is professional skill. Core skill is, which includes soft skill and interpersonal skill, is the core skill. And responsibility, degree of supervision. He will be responsible to perform that, to become a competent supervisor. So that is his responsibility. For example, level 5, you see the 5 domains: process required, professional knowledge, process, professional knowledge, professional skill, core skill, responsibility. This is common for all the levels. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be changing, here the change will be there. So for level 5, that is your CTS engineering trades, electronic, mechanic, electrician trade, and all, level 5. So this level 5, your process is job that requires well-developed skill and clear choice of procedures in familiar context. So this is the process. And professional knowledge will be, you are gaining the knowledge on facts, principles, processes, and all. And five more minutes. So like this, 10 levels are there. And qualification pack we have already discussed. Qualification pack is a set of national occupation standards aligned to a job role is qualification pack. And qualification pack would be available for every job role in each industry sector. These drive both the criterion of curriculum to assessment. So qualification pack is your, to become as a competent garment designer or an instructor is your qualification pack. Under that, you will be the garment designer is your qualification pack. Under that qualification, national occupation standards are there to design a garment. What are the specific, occupations are there? That is the national occupation standard. So national occupation standards specify the standards of performance knowledge and understanding skill when carrying out a particular activity in the workplace. So each national occupation standard defines one key function in a job role. So you have your job role as a garment designer. So the qualification pack will be, you will be able to design a garment. So the national occupation standards are, but individual learning outcomes are measuring, taking measurement and drafting the garment, cutting the garment, stitching the garment. So these are the national occupation standards, which consists of making a qualification pack. Then, for example, like I mentioned for garment sector, for sales associate, one of the national occupation standard would be to help the customers to choose the right product. So specifically, he will be able to help the customer to choose the right product. So it is very specific occupational standard. And sales associate is the sales associate learning outcomes are qualification pack. Sales associate will have combination of skills and knowledge and aptitude. Then qualification register. There will be a national qualification register. You can refer the website. You will get very good information. And it has the national public record for all qualifications aligned to NSQF levels, qualification pathways and accrediting authorities. So who will be accrediting for education, I mean collegiate education and all, there will be a NAC, National Accreditation Assessment Council. NAC is there. Like that for NSQF also, accreditation is very important. So who are the accreditation agencies and what are the available qualification packs and available national occupation standards and all details, every detail you will get the national qualification register. So you can find a website, a national qualification register, and get the details. It gives learners and other users of qualifications access to all the qualifications registered and currently on offer. So many qualifications are there and so many job roles are there. Every detail you will get the details in the National Occupational Register. And you see the website will look like this. Madam, 5 minutes, 5 more minutes available?
Sir, 2-3 minutes.
Okay, fine. So nqr.gov.in. So nqr.gov.in, you go through this website, you will get complete details about how many job roles are there. See, level 1, what are the job roles? Level 2, what are the specific learning outcomes? Level 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. You will get all the details. And in the assessment and certification unit, we have seen detailing about formative assessment and summative assessment, which is also very important for an instructor and for industries. So periodically we have to assess the individual performance. This is also part of NSQF. So in assessment, we are the instructors. We have to assess the individuals weekly, daily we have to assess, and weekly, monthly we have to assess. The everything we can enter in a format. This is format and we have already discussed. And the parameters also, the specific learning outcomes also the format is available, and all the instructors you can use that. And for I told you one video, and you can refer this NSQF film on NSQF. This is available in internet. If you type NSQF film, so in Hindi and English, both the languages, it is available, and it will give you insightful information about NSQF.
तो जो आप वीडियो प्ले कर रहे हैं उसकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
Oh, that's all, madam. That's all, madam. One more minute.
थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
Only 2 minutes.
ले लीजिए सर. If you're getting late for another.
Okay. Yeah. See, like this, you can find for all these sectors. So you can get the details. National Skill Qualification Framework animated film. You can get all the details about NSQF. So you can find the levels, basic to advanced levels. So based on the NSQF certification. So levels. So with this information, I hope you might have gained good knowledge about learning outcome and NSQF qualification pack and qualification National Qualification Register and National Occupation Standards and Sector Skill Councils responsibilities and all. So with this, I conclude the session. Thank you for attending the session, and I thank Nimi for hosting the session. Thank you.